Welcome to Cookies and Cream.
A podcast about life, marriage, race, and whatever else we want to talk about.
I'm Matt.
I'm Maya.
And we're a Christian mixed couple.
Sharing our experiences one episode at a time. Yo, yo, yo. What it do, what it do, what it do. Hey, what it do, what it do, what it do. Hey.
Hey, you can see Maya's dancing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now you look like a fool to the internet.
Okay,
what's up, guys?
Sweatshirt and blanket combo is not good right now.
Too hot?
Yeah.
It's fall, but it's not like that fall.
It's not that fall.
All right.
Okay. Hi.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
You know, I'm here.
Alive,
breathing.
Yeah.
It's been a second.
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with us. How you feeling? You a little hungry? I'm a little hungry.
I am hungry. I'm ready to go.
I think we're gonna
dinner.
get some pad thai after this. You got a fuzzy?
Yeah.
What's been going on? We're not gonna do our right here, right now segment anymore.
Yep, that was a
one time we
done.
tried it. It didn't work. Just because we didn't feel like it was.
I think we can do it occasionally and it's fine. Just not every episode.
A little check in.
Yeah.
As he did start school.
Mm-hmm. It went well.
That'll go into this episode a little bit, but
Yeah.
It went well, and we're still adjusting. But I think that it's gonna go okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went one day, and then his second day already had no tears when you dropped him off, which is really good.
He was very excited to see his friends. He went right in, and he was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was excited to be picked up, but he was great.
What do we got? NFL football starting back up, baby.
I'm so excited. I am
We
so
gotta
excited.
do our fantasy team again this year with the church.
Oh, we need to.
We gotta get on that.
Ask Casey to turn it back on.
I know. At the time this is coming out, there will already been a couple of games.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about raising biracial children. Bow, 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 bow.
Okay. In case you haven't noticed, Maya is white.
We're black and tan.
I am a black king.
I'm black East tan.
I'm black East tan. That's why we called this podcast Cookies and Cream.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't catch that, you just got that for the first time. You're the cookie, I'm the cream. We're not going to get that granular with it, but that's our kind of just like the black and white. And part of
that's
our
a large part of our podcast.
Our little intro is we're a mixed couple, and we just we've had some as anticipated, but there have been additional, not even really struggles, but just considerations. You're making a lot of noise with that table.
Sorry, it's a heavy water bottle. It's so full, and I didn't know it was that full.
Watch this. It's a metal table. Watch this. Oh, dang it. No. No. All right. I can't get on you. Oh, I feel embarrassed now. We've had some additional struggles or just considerations to make within our marriage because of being mixed race and coming from very different backgrounds, different families, different culture, whatever. And we've talked a lot about that on this podcast because we've done a lot of marriage episodes, a lot of race episodes. But what we have not done yet is talk about how that's going to play into our parenting of our two children.
Yeah.
Because they are biracial.
Yeah.
They're little peanut butter drops right in the middle. Ezzy's darker than Eliza, but
yeah, she's pretty bright.
But also she hasn't really, she's a baby. She hasn't been out in the sun too much.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get closer.
I mean, he's pretty bright in the winter, but he's not
that
at
bright.
his brightest. I don't know that he was.
I don't think even in his baby pictures, he still is darker
still
than she is
browner,
now. Yeah. She's closer to me for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's going to be a part of their entire lives, dealing with the.
We should have had somebody mixed on the podcast for this episode.
We should have.
Did we know anybody?
I'll use AI to make a mixture of you and me, and then a mixture of our voices, and then I'll have that person sit in the middle.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. But yeah, we talked about this a lot just between the two of us, like when we were talking even about getting married in the first place, but also having kids. We are gonna be raising mixed kids who are gonna deal with being racially ambiguous and deal with comments and whatever. Yeah. And so now we're here and we have two of them, and one of them that's like entering into the school world, being around a lot of other kids, and it's going to come up, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to put it's not even a caveat so much as a like peek behind the curtain. We haven't talked about this. Not much. Like, we have little conversations here and there, but like we haven't in depth, as Ezra's entering the school system, had conversations about this. So you as the listeners are just gonna get to be here for our conversation. So we probably aren't really gonna even interact with, air quotes, the listener very much. This is just like you and me flushing this out. Is it flushing or fleshing?
I have never known.
We're gonna have to
sound
look
off in the comments if it's flushing or flushing.
The voice you do for that specific thing is so.
You know what that is?
Me.
That's Dan Hansis from Heed the Call. That's what that is. He does that all the time. It's his little character. But we just thought it would be like a fun idea, instead of basically just to have you be a fly on the wall for just our conversation that we've needed to have about this anyway.
Yeah.
Like you said,
it's coming up.
We've had little conversations, but part of this, as we'll get into, is like Ezra's 3.5, and he's been starting to notice that. Like, he's been saying, you know, making comments about our skin colors, and just like it's coming up. And so, I don't know. Let's figure it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting with the first thing we have written down, which I think is a good caveat or thing to get out of the way, is when you were a kid, when I was a kid, or when we were thinking about dating, whatever, expectations of what eventually having kids would look like versus, I don't know, maybe the reality. Because obviously neither of us would have expected to be with someone of a different race. Like, not when you picture your postcard future spouse, it's probably was not, for you it wasn't a white dude. And for me it wasn't a black girl, because I grew up in Cowtown, Kansas. Yeah. And so
you just expect to end up with somebody you're around.
Yeah. And all of your people around you pretty much are married to someone of the same race and culture as them, and so then they have a kid that looks like them, and they have, it's just very kind of standard or something, you know.
So what's so funny is, growing up, people told me all the time I would end up with a white guy.
They just knew.
They would make fun of me for it so
you like that
bad.
Vanilla.
They would make fun of me for it so bad and say I would end up with a white man. And I was always like, why do you think that? Like,
well, also people would.
I did. Spoiler alert.
They were right.
They were right. I'm okay with it.
I feel like people also were just like.
It was a roast, though.
No, I know.
You know, like, it wasn't just like it was like, but Maya's boring and too proper, and she's gonna. End up with a white guy.
Wasn't it kind of just like there's almost like an internal self-hatred thing that, like, if a black girl is talking too proper, then all of a sudden it's like, you're just like a white girl with a black face or whatever. That like that's part of it, probably.
White black girl.
Yeah.
Oreo.
And you did end up with a white dude, so they were right.
I did.
People in my life did not think I would end up with a black girl. No one that I knew.
When I met you, I didn't think you'd end up with a black girl.
When you met me, you thought you would end up with a girl, so. Gay. Anyway.
That one took a second. That one took a second to hit me.
I got
You're funny.
Anyway. So, like, I'm not, as a teenage boy, it's like, you don't think about really that. You don't think about, like, beyond just like, I'm gonna grow up and get married and then I can have sex.
Whenever I want.
You don't think about your wedding. You don't think about having kids. You just kind of think about what it would be like to have a wife. But I feel like for women, you definitely are wired to think more about just like, I
had a Pinterest board of cute kids.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'm being sexist, but that was my experience, and I didn't know any dudes who were thinking about
what they have told
their
you,
future kids.
You know?
That's
or would
true.
it have been embarrassing to talk about?
I just don't feel like that we were smart enough to think beyond the here and now.
She's hot.
Yeah, exactly. What if she was my wife?
She's got good boobs.
Anyway, but so I don't feel like I had a bunch of like future expectations about what having children of my own would look like. If I did, it was just they're like little white kids. But other than that, I didn't really have much. But you probably had a lot more of that than me.
Yeah, I was going to end up with beautiful little chocolate drops.
Yeah.
They were going to be chocolatey and delicious little babies. They were just going to be like I have one picture in my head of this little girl, and she's like got like Minnie Mouse Disney ears on, like the ones you wear at the park, and
Not
she was
like-
just the most beautiful. She had this little dimple. She was just so beautiful and chocolatey, and I knew my kids would look like that. I knew they'd look like my baby pictures, and you know what? They really do. But I
still do,
had
yeah.
it was so weird to adjust to the fact before we got married, even like I had to come to terms with the fact before I could marry you
Yeah.
that my kids were not going to be chocolatey, because I was just like, what do you what
I remember like
What?
that realization would hit you occasionally,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Whoa, hold on, wait."
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if I could be okay with it, to be honest. I was just kind of like,
Just because of how beautiful these children that you had in mind
Yeah.
were, and that their skin and their
yeah. Which truly, our children are look exactly like what I thought they would. They're just not dark.
yeah.
But like the cuteness, the cheeks, the like, it's all there. And now that I actually have an image for them, it's morphed over
Right.
and stamped over what I thought they would look like too. But like, they just look like my baby pictures. We were just looking at a baby picture of me the other day,
And it was like
it's
that
their
Ezra.
faces.
So what has that adjustment looked like, I guess? Like how did you, or what did it look like to get yourself, I don't know, okay with that? Was it just like you loved me that much, or
That was part of it. Time was part of it. And just realizing like we're attractive people and we'll have cute kids. Like I was like, neither of us is ugly.
yeah, we're
Like,
not.
please tell me if we are, but I don't think so.
Please sound off in the comments if we're mad ugly. Maybe this is, if you're a rando who we don't know, maybe this is the first time you're seeing us with your eyes. This is us.
Hello.
But yeah, that makes sense though. And also, I mean, more so than probably in the white world, I'm sure that there was so much expectation around it too, that like, that's what you will end up with. That's what your life will look like.
I'm pretty positive a couple of people said that to me when they realized I was marrying you. Like, don't you want chocolate babies?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what you're doing? Like, do you realize that
Yeah.
your babies are gonna...
But they be talking about bloodlines.
You're gonna
and
have
stuff
white
too,
babies. I've heard people say that. You know you're gonna have white babies.
You know? Bruh.
No, thank you. No.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case on the Caucasian side. We are not.
Bloodlines. I just heard you.
Yeah, they be talking about blood. They gotta keep the bloodline going. And
I was
stuff.
about to say that's ridiculous. It is not.
I just feel like I've heard it.
You've heard it from my family.
That's what I'm saying. I've
Actually.
heard it from people that I know.
So.
Like, anyway,
Never
but
mind.
on
Yeah.
in the Caucasian world, we don't really talk about it that much, and it's not. We've said this in other race-based episodes we've done, but like, it's not a thing to even associate your race with your identity, because we're not proud to be white. It's just what the hand you were dealt, and there's this.
I'm free.
Oh gosh, and yeah, it's like there's this kind of a guilt associated with it, or you're racist. It's kind of like those are the two extremes. It's hard to have a balanced kind of like relationship with your race as a white person, but because of that, unless someone is racist and is like, you don't need to go out and marry a minority, then it's not really like something to talk about. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sure. Because it's not like you're not proud of it. You don't need to carry it on,
Yeah.
And so
Was it still weird though?
Oh, it was
Bringing me
weird.
into your family, you dating me, you thinking about the fact that you'd have brown kids. Was that weird?
not. There were moments
odd,
there were
or-
moments where I would realize it and be like, oh man, my kids are gonna have different skin than me, but not in a whoa, that's crazy, but more in just like oh yeah, that's something,
Did it feel like, what did you feel about that? Especially as like when I got pregnant, what did you feel about the fact that the baby that was going to come out could be anywhere from a little darker than you to me? How did that feel?
I didn't think about it that much. it's like I just am not wired to think about the world in terms of race. You know, it's
So
like
even as their dad,
I mean, there are moments where I honestly, what it is like, you know how there's kind of like a sentiment in the world that people don't be trusting dads when they have their kids. I'm at like the park or something, and there are like moments where I have the thought like, you know, I'm with this kid, and he has a very different skin color than me, and I just really hope that somebody doesn't try to say this is not my kid. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's definitely that element of it, and I think I thought about that.
You ready?
And so I think I thought about that a little bit before he was born. Like, man, that's just like, it's not going to be as easy to like identify that that's my kid or something based on that.
Were you hoping that our kids were on the lighter or darker side of
That's
mixed?
what I'm saying though. I didn't think about it in that way. It was never like, you know, what I always wished my kids would look like is this, and then it may or may not be that. I was just happy to be having a kid with you, you know? And like,
That's not the question I'm asking. I'm not asking.
I was not wishing for anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
And because I don't have any desire, I never had any desire for my kid to look like me. Like, that's not a thing that I ever really cared about.
Interesting.
Because, why? I don't know. What special thing is there as a regular looking white dude about your kid looking like you know?
Yeah, you can say that, but when you realized that Lizzie looked like you, it was the best feeling in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's like her face looks like me, not her skin tone.
Okay, I understand.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
It's just not the weirdness of the biracial thing was around you. For anyone in my life or like my world, you entering into my world, it was just like, whoa, it's crazy that you're marrying a black girl. You know, it was not your kids will be this or that. It was, you know, it didn't really have much to do with that, I guess.
Yeah, it was just very different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just being surrounded by black men take it very seriously. Take it very seriously that their son is black. And even black men that I know that are married to a white woman, their kids are black to them.
Yeah.
That is a black man, because being a black man is important.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
There's
a strong black.
The pride in your race thing
Yeah.
was not. So
And then for the women, I think the black women around me, it's thinking about me having mixed kids. It's like just something we think about kids in general. So it was more of like a conversation.
I'm not sexist. I was actually right about that.
Yeah.
You all are just thinking about kids a lot more.
We're sidebar. God created us to think about kids more. So yes.
He did.
That's
I don't
just
wanna assume.
You're supposed to be thinking about like how you're gonna go
Hunt for
Yeah, exactly.
kill something.
Yeah. That's normal and right.
Hunt for food. Well, I don't think about that. So is that wrong?
Yes, you do. It's just not.
I've never killed for food in my life. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. What was that like for you, I guess, while you were pregnant, thinking about the kid that was about to pop out and what he was going to look like? What was that?
That was so weird. Honestly, I thought I had gotten over it, and then I got pregnant, and it was all over again. I was having to come to terms with the fact that I just wasn't having a chocolate drop, and I was having a little bit of an identity crisis. I felt like I had an alien in me, because not only did I feel like I had an alien parasite in me that was trying to kill me, but
Just because of being pregnant in general.
yeah, just being pregnant in general. But I was just like, it doesn't match me. What's about to come out?
Yeah, interesting.
Like, it felt like a tiny version of what I imagine it feels like when you slept with two men and you don't know whose baby it is.
Because it's
Just like, I don't know what's coming out. I don't know what this baby's gonna look like, which no one knows what their baby's gonna look like. I'm sure everybody has a little bit of a, what is my baby gonna look like? I hope that she looks like this. I hope he looks like this. I hope it's a boy, a girl, whatever. But yeah, I just was like, legitimately, my child can be any color. And if our child comes out and is super bright, how do I parent them as a black woman who has never experienced what it's like to be light-skinned.
So you're talking about mainly like how to walk them through experiences that you haven't had?
Yes.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Because that's like the main thing, I think, about
I
having
almost
a
feel like we
mixed-race
should
kid.
put a warning on this episode that's like a little bit of a not safe for work, because I've said 2 different things now that I just don't know that I'd want our kids to hear.
Like what?
I said the boobs thing and I said the slept with 2 men thing.
Nah, come
I
on.
almost feel like
Come on.
I'm just imagining like specific people at our church just listening to this in the car, just thinking it's Maya and Matt, and then I say that. I almost feel like we need to put a warning.
Sex. Warning.
Maybe we'll put a warning. Cause
Warning. Okay,
Mayday,
so
Mayday.
that kind of leads nicely into the next thing we have, which is just what are the additional additional levels of parenting that come with parenting mixed race kids that we would not have had to deal with if it was just a standard kid?
Well, okay. 1, I've never had a black kid,
That's true.
so I don't exactly
I mean, you
know.
kind of raised your youngest brother.
Yeah, that's true. But like, he is now going through the formative stuff. I've never done that.
That's fair.
I've never. And also, day-to-day survival is different than creating a child's worldview.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I don't know what it would take to raise a black boy or girl necessarily. So I do want to put that caveat. Like,
Right.
you've never had a white kid. We just
No, I
don't
have
know
not.
what it would take to impart things on that. So, whatever. Things that we are going to have to... You good?
I'm just fixing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were getting up, and I was like, where are you going?
Just adjusting myself.
Okay. Things that we're experiencing that we did not think, at least,
Yeah.
or don't think we would have experienced if we had married somebody of the same race. I think our children, from experiences I've heard from other mixed people, may have the identity crisis, the which side do I fit in with moment
Yeah.
throughout their lives, that you just really don't usually experience when you are just one race.
Yeah.
Feeling like they are too white for black people and too black for white people.
Yeah. I mean, the most simple example of that, or like reasoning behind that, is our 2 families are extremely different. Mm-hmm. The culture, the way they act, the way they talk, the way they relate to one another, just night and day different. Night and day. But yeah, so it's like just right there built in, your 2 different sides of the family are different worlds. You know?
And they just are going to have to navigate in between that, and we're going to have to walk them through that and walk them through, just like any child. Our goal is to walk them through where their identity lies.
Yeah.
And like how to be confident in their identity in Christ. Hopefully they get saved. Their identity in Christ and who God says they are. And then after that, walk them through the fact that they're just still going to experience this and feel these things, and how important it is or isn't. Because we kind of get to determine, shape how important race is in our house. And growing up, for me, race was a very big deal. And for you, it was not. And so part of that's just the people you're around. But also, in your home, it matters how you speak about it.
Yeah, so how much
what
of
you feel empowered by.
I don't know, how much of their identities do we want to be shaped by that?
I honestly don't know. This is such a hard topic for me. One, because I just don't know how to handle it. And I don't think I've prayed about it much. And like, I haven't read many books about it. Like, it hasn't been something that I feel like we've had to think about up until this point.
No.
we have when we're just like having little conversations, but it's not something we've had to like come across yet. And also they're just so little. And I'm like, we can have this whole conversation. And then he turns 7 and he's in first, second grade. And that's when it really hits and it's completely different. Then he's 13
Right.
and then and it's like changes constantly. So I don't really know. Like, it doesn't feel like we're doing any of that stuff yet, you know?
No. And it's like, I think we're going to have to figure that out because Ezra has been starting to ask some questions that are like, why is your skin different than my skin? Or why
Has he asked you that or just pointed it out?
He asked me that like 3 days ago. He was just like, Daddy, why is my skin brown and your skin is light or something like that? And I think all I said in that moment was like, well, God made us different or something like that. But I know that like eventually he's going to start looking at his like little friends from school and noticing that he's a different color than them and stuff like that. I think what you said about their identity in Christ, not even necessarily in Christ, but just like who God made them to be, that like they're his creation, that they belong to him, and that's where their main sense of being and self is. But like we talked about this with the church episode, how much your identity is in your culture. In white spaces, it's not the main thing, but in like a lot of black spaces it is. And so it's like, do we just do your identity is 50% in culture and the other 50% is just like nothing?
Yeah.
Or that's where it's hard for me, because it's like,
well, okay, so before we quite go into that, the like measurement,
yeah,
how do you see our kids?
I don't see them as one race.
Do you see them as mixed?
I see them
or just
as
ambiguous anything?
Ambiguously, just that's what our kids look like, Like I don't see them. I know you look at our kids. You've said this before. You look at Ezra as a black boy. I look at Ezra.
No, not quite. But
Okay.
Go ahead.
I look at Ezra as not, because I don't see through the lens of race, and so I'm like, I just see him as him. I don't know. Like there are moments where I look at him and I'm like, man, you really are like mixed, but I don't look at him and see mixed kid or black kid or mostly white kid or whatever. It's just like, which is probably, I think I need to be able to do that for contextualizing things whenever we're like trying to parent him. But I don't see him as either of them as a race, I guess. Would you say you look at him as like what, 80% black? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the primary thing I think or feel towards them when I'm thinking about their race is just confused. Like, I just don't know. I think he looks more like a black boy.
He does.
Like, I think where Lizzie's going right now, no one's going to think she's white. But I don't know that people are going to look at her and automatically be like, oh, she's for sure got a black parent.
Yeah.
Ezra?
Yeah,
I don't know if you would know he has a white dad.
Yeah, he could
to be honest.
He could just be light skinned.
Yeah. And so I think that he looks blacker.
His features and his hair and
with
stuff.
his little haircut. Like, he looks like a little black boy running around, especially compared to all white children running around him.
Well, yeah, well, he's the odd one out, but
yeah. And so I'm aware of that. But there's a lot of confusion, and there's not a like pride in that. Like, that's my little black boy. Like, there's not that. It's just kind of like I don't know what to do with this. Hopefully the Lord gives us what we need when we need it, because I don't know what to do. And it makes me, I have to like fend off guilt for giving them this path to go down, because I don't think it's as big of a deal as I make it in my head sometimes.
no.
I think because I've never experienced it, it just seems big and scary to have to grow up mixed. And I think it's just something you deal with, and you deal with stuff just like everybody else. But I have to fend off like, why did I do this to them? Why did we do this to them?
That's interesting. Yeah, there's definitely additional hardships, like internally for them, just with having to wrestle between, two different sides of their identity. What do they identify with? How do they think of themselves? But I mean, there's also external things. Like we've had one of the only conversations that we've had, mainly because of what the world's looked like in the last 5 years, is just we've talked a lot about how we're going to have very pointed and specific conversations with Ezra when he gets older about what happens if you get pulled over. Like how law enforcement's going to see you, how the general world is going to see you. Like there's going to be lenses that they look at you through that they would not look at a white kid through, a white teenager
and also that
through.
he might not look at himself through because he doesn't see himself as black.
Yes, that's another good point. Like there's just the way that the world marginalizes or mistreats black people are most likely going to get applied to him, right? I mean, like he's going to fall into that closely enough. Like we said, he could pass for just like a light-skinned black kid, and so that's definitely like part of it, I think.
Which maybe somebody else would disagree. I don't know.
I think he would.
I do too, but maybe not. I don't know.
Anyway, but so there's definitely those things that no matter how we approach it, we're trying to be sober-minded about the fact that externally the world's going to see him a certain way, you know? And I think, I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but the time, like there's obviously a lot of stuff, police brutality and things like that are really prevalent and really bad, but probably a pretty good time to grow up as a black kid in America as opposed to other times. I don't know, like hopefully it won't be as bad as it would have been, especially with mixed parents, like even like 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Also, even the generation below us is so much chiller.
Oh, yeah.
Than like our generation, millennials. So maybe it won't be a thing at all by the time they're old enough to be
by the
in
time
middle
he's, like,
school.
16.
Maybe that won't matter at all.
It might
and
not.
We're just overthinking it. But
The world that
I think
I grew
it will
up
still
in, though.
matter that we are helping shape their view of themselves as it relates to their race. Because if we don't, it might not hit them while they're in the house. But it
they have an
eventually
identity
will.
crisis when they move out. Yeah.
And I want them to have the safety net under them of us being under our roof in our house to have those conversations and ask those questions and whatever else, so that when they do go out,
They can anchor themselves in something.
and they don't feel like just blown back and forth between groups and between cultures and whatever else it is, and not sure where they fit.
So that leads perfectly to the next question or thing we have written down. And this is probably the most like, we're just going to have the conversation between the two of us that we need to have. But just like, how are we going to talk to them about race? About their race in general, our races. How are we going to broach having those conversations?
Blink, blink.
You go.
Blink.
I want you to lead this because you're the one who's black.
Because you have one, JK. It's so funny, the idea that I sometimes have. Yeah, that like white is just like the base, and then you add a race.
Well, I mean, it's kind
like
of
the white base of crayons, and then you just add color to it.
I mean, it is the
It's
majority, the majority ethnicity in America.
Yeah,
and also the culture happens to be really bland, so it's pretty easy to see it as just nothing. Anyway, go ahead.
Whatever. I don't know. Your turn. No, I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how.
Okay, let me be more specific with you.
Okay, thank you.
How would you answer the question that Ezra asked me the other day? Why is your skin white and my skin is brown? How would you answer that if he asked you right now?
I would have probably said God made us that way, and then talk to you about it.
That's
and
what
then
I
we would
did.
come
No.
back and talk to them. But I probably honestly would have read him the story of the Tower of Babel, and kind of explained how like God separated people and had us go separate ways, and through that people changed and became different colors and started speaking different languages and had different cultures, which is just the way that we like to live. And basically kind of tried to explain that there's a lot of beauty in it.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
And being different in different cultures and
Yeah.
stuff.
And probably tried to hone in on like we are all created in God's image, and like we all were made to look like God.
Right.
And it's like God. I probably would have said it's like God is a painter, and he's using different colors on a
That's
paint
cute.
palette to just paint different types of people.
And then how would you do the mixing of the two of us making him thing? Like, why is his skin color what it is?
I probably would have got paint out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Probably just would have gotten some brown and some white
And mixed them.
and mixed them together and been like, what color is that one?
And just kind of, so like because
Just like very logically.
mommy is this color and
Yeah.
because daddy is this color, you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we could even go into like what like genetic features, you know, like every baby is born with some of their mom's
That would be good.
features and some of their dad's features. So like, you know, we always say that you have mommy's eyes and whatever. Like,
And
for
then we
people,
could explain that means that yours looks like mine. Because like the other day
Yeah.
I was making fun of him. I was like, you stole my face.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was like, what are you talking about?
But yeah, we could even put it like for, you know, other kids that are both their parents have white skin. They still, one of them will have their dad's ears and one of them might have their mom's nose, and like basically just that your skin color is just one of your features that's mixed of our features, you know.
Would you want to use black and white?
I think brown, maybe like brown and tan instead of black and white.
That sounds dumb.
But like white, I don't know. Maybe just black and white or dark brown and white. Because he says brown even when he talks about your skin. He would probably say white about
Yeah.
mine. But yeah, I think, and just
We could use the words African American and Caucasian just so that he understood like there is a structure and a name for it, and we'll get into it later.
Yeah, we could also say. I think that this is a down the road thing, but I think we need to be very specific with him on the difference between ethnicity and culture. That like, you know, your mommy's ethnicity, like her actual race that she is black, and daddy's is Caucasian or whatever, white. But that doesn't make you who you are. That like ultimately there are, we just talk about like, even like you notice how mommy's family is different than daddy's family, like that they're just,
And we have had that
they
conversation.
operate
recently.
and they act differently. Because yeah, he was talking about how loud it can be at your parents' house, right?
Yeah. And I just had to tell him, like, you know, bud, our families are just different. They're just different types of people, you know? My family is really loud. And, because we were at a birthday party, and he was like, every time somebody sees me, they come and get close to me and touch me. And they're so loud. And I was like, you know, it's okay if you don't want people to touch you. That's not
Yeah.
a problem. But that's just how my family is. We're just, we like to touch each other to show that we love each other. And
Very
we can be
loud.
louder, and we like to be closer. Whereas if you look at Daddy's family, we're not all like that as much. We sit on separate couches a little bit away from each other, and we talk quietly. And that's just different. That's just different ways that we show that we love each other and want to be near each other and like talk to each other. So like we have had that conversation. It just wasn't framed in a race conversation. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
thing, just not framing everything in culture or race, because it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, just like the
And he'll
specifics
connect
of just
the dots eventually. I don't know.
that kind of like what he sees as race or what he sees as whatever is just like how mommy's family is or how daddy's family is, and then he can start to create those categories in his head maybe.
Yeah.
I think also this is something that we did, like we talked about this piece of it a lot, I think even before we got married, which is just, I think we do a good job of this now. I think it's important for us with having mixed race kids to really emphasize the culture of our home. That we have our own culture as a family, you know, and then like the way that we do things, the way we speak to each other, the way we just kind of like connect with each other as a family are all very like defined, and we talk about it, and it's like, this is how we do things in our home, in our family, so that he, no matter what he ends up kind of more linking himself to, that's there no matter what, that he can like anchor himself to, this is how my family is, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point. I had a question, but I don't remember what it was. So,
Was it about our different families piece?
no, it was when you started saying the last thing about. Oh! It was. How do you think that we should talk about, or prepare him for, or broach when he experiences things like I've experienced, specifically in the church, with people downplaying culture?
Huh.
And like, how should we approach culture? Because I think we've kind of asked that question and not quite answered it, but like, how important actually is culture for our children in our home? How connected should they be to their cultures outside of our home?
Yeah.
The two separate, is it like I don't think we should push them to identify with one or the other, but like,
No.
Is it a matter of, here's a platter with this one, here's a platter with this one, here are the differences and the things that are the same, go at it, have a feast? Or is it kind of like just bringing them around our families and letting it happen naturally?
I think I would say that. Bringing them around our families and just letting what ends up seeping in just seep in, you know? And they just kind of become their own people. And also I think we should not push them to identify with one or the other more.
I agree.
Because that's why. That's not healthy, I don't think.
I agree.
Because it makes you then start to favor one over the other or whatever. I think
which will probably be hard.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it would be, because we each have our own backgrounds, and there are families, and we have our preferences and stuff, and so it'd be hard. But I think just trying to keep it as equal of a playing field as possible. And then with the church thing, where like just people in his life that are like downplaying culture or making him feel wrong for talking about his race too much. I think if we emphasize that we have our families are different and our cultures are different, but that we kind of get to set our own, then I think that we could emphasize to him that the people in church or the people around him that are downplaying culture, that's part of their culture. Like, that's their own, the way they process race. And just like bringing it back to the fact that people are different. Yeah. It's kind of like, that's the way that they operate, but you get to choose how you do, something like that. I don't know.
Well,
that might be too ambiguous.
Well, he's 3, so it's okay.
I'm thinking way in the future. Like,
I know. I'm saying it's okay if we don't have it super defined yet, because we have some years to get there.
That's fair.
How do we lead people through loving our kids well?
That's a good question.
Because that's kind of like a little shoot off of that last question.
Yeah.
If my kid comes up to you and is like, I don't know, says something that's related to his race or his culture, and your response is, well, that's not what matters. Your identity in Christ is what matters. And it's just a shutdown. Yeah. Sometimes it is necessary to draw them back to, but do remember that is not what unites you. Like, you can be friends with them even though they look different than you, because you're united in Christ. You are both made in his image.
In a lot of white spaces, there's a downplaying of it in a bad way.
Yeah. And so how do we lead other people through loving our kids, and just like, even just little corrections? Hey, actually, the thing that we're teaching him is this, and I just don't want you to make it seem like it's bad that he's half black. Yeah. Like, how do we...
I think one of the most obvious ones that jumps out to me, that we've had conversations with people actually like already about this. People who will make comments about like his hair. Like when we were letting his hair grow out super long and it was super curly. People would just make little offhanded comments about like, oh, I just love your little crazy hair. Yeah. Or I love your little wild hair or something like that, where it was just like a clear, you
Pointing it out, and it almost felt like nicely saying it looked bad.
yeah, nicely saying like, yeah,
It's
you look like you're
untamed, or
nappy
it look-
headed.
yeah.
Yeah. Like things like that. Or,
That's a really good one.
yeah, his hair, his skin, like just not commenting on the color of his skin in a way that you wouldn't for another kid, you know, like
Yeah.
not going out of your way to talk about it. And then respect, I think just for the people in our life, I guess if you're listening to this, like respecting the fact that you might not understand
Yeah,
in
that's
general,
good.
respecting the fact that you might not get why, even like why he's dressed a certain way, or why we instruct him to act a certain way in a situation, or why we're more okay with him being a little bit confident, you know, and why we don't expect him to always be incredibly self-effacing, or why we want him to lean into parts of himself that are, I don't know,
Yeah.
just like you might not agree, I guess is part of it too. Like there are things that are built into specifically white culture that are just different, and they can be very easily construed as being biblical when really it's just a culture thing. And so if there are little differences that people
Or taking
notice,
a biblical thing really far.
yeah, exactly. And so I think if there are things that people notice about how he's different, or how we like, obviously if he's being disobedient, like that's not,
this is not
a like our
don't
kid can
correct
do whatever
our
he
kids.
wants. We are literally, we could not be more opposite of the people who say don't correct our kids. Spank my kid, you know what I'm saying?
Don't spank my kid.
No,
No.
you know what I'm saying? Discipline my kid.
Yeah.
But the
people that we trust know that we trust them to
yeah, completely
correct him when he's out of line.
Yeah, but don't.
The hair is a really good example, and
Yeah.
I think we should hone in on that to explain why and what that was. Do you want me
And
to?
then take it. Yeah, and then for anyone listening, take everything about the hair and extend it to his whole person.
Yeah.
Now go.
Okay. So, if you've never seen a picture of Ezra, he has had at points in his life long curly hair, like shoulder length, big dark brown ringlets,
So thick.
Yeah.
So voluptuous.
and a little frizzy, and it's so cute.
He'll wake up with it just so messy, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's so cute. If I choose not to do it that day, like actually do his hair, it's more frizzy. And if I do choose to do it, then it's more like defined ringlets and whatever else.
But no matter what, it's always real curly.
Yeah, it's always very curly. People would comment on how frizzy or messy or crazy his hair was as like a fun little joke, or even as like a loving anything, whatever it was. It wasn't ever malicious. I've never heard anyone
No.
maliciously, maybe once, but people don't say it maliciously. People are not saying it judgmentally necessarily on
No.
purpose. But people would say that, and and I had to, we both did, but I've had to explain to people, especially white people, because I don't know if I've had black people comment on his hair like that. I don't think that I have.
Black people just call him Chinese or something.
Yeah. Gosh. That's its own thing. Stop doing that.
They'd be the racistest of them all. Go ahead.
It's so bad.
Your grandma said
Nope.
it.
Nope. Nope.
But it's funny.
No.
It's a slur. Okay.
But anyway,
Put your best guess in the comments. What slur was it?
but anyway, we have had to take those people aside and explain, you don't understand, one, the connection to our hair we have as black people. You don't understand that. You never will understand that. Because it is not like, even like historically, like Africa historically, hair, I don't even know, like I haven't researched this well enough to articulate it well and like know what I'm talking about. But like hair is so deeply rooted to culture and to survival.
Yeah.
And like it's so deep. So that's its own thing that's just not going to be understood if you've never felt that, like experienced
and
it and been taught it
as a form of expression.
Yeah. Self-expression, bonding with other people. Like it's a whole thing. It's a huge part of culture.
Yeah.
And it's something as a Black person that I have been taught to celebrate and experiment with and like talk about and compliment other people's. It's a huge part of culture, like one of the pillars almost of culture. And also because of that, the feeling that you get with your hair being done versus not done, like it's so connected to self-worth, to your mood, to like so many things.
Confidence.
In such a weird way that I can't even explain it. I fully cannot explain that feeling at all, but I do know that when I was super depressed, when I had my hair done, it wasn't as bad. Whether I was going out or not, whether I was seeing myself or not in the mirror, when my hair was done, it just wasn't as bad. And so I say that to say that's not something you're going to experience if you haven't. It being connected to your ancestors and the people around you, that's just not a universal experience. So there's that one thing. But also commenting on our child's hair in using words that could be negative because you don't understand
the importance of it
because you don't understand the style of it. You don't understand allowing that is just not okay because
ignorant.
Yeah, and I don't want him to start internalizing something's wrong with my hair because it's big.
Yeah.
Because it's a little messy, because it's wild, because it's curly, because whatever it is, just because the average, on average, white little boy, that's what I meant, white little boy walking around has a shorter haircut, doesn't mean that Ezra's is wrong. It's just different. And because that's not what you're used to seeing.
Yeah, because that's for...
You think it's wrong or you think it's messy or bad or...
Undone.
Unkempt or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's like the majority of white culture, white people are like a hairstyle that looks done and looks presentable is like super short and flat and like slicked down and just like under control. And so the idea of it being crazy and a little bit out of control and a little bit wild looking,
a little frizzy,
curly, even curly, there's negative associations with just curliness in general, you know. But yeah, keep going.
So the comments on his hair, my fear was you are going to make my son internalize something negative about his hair that is beautiful and exactly how God made it to be. There's nothing wrong with his hair. It can be big. It can be beautiful. It can be frizzy. It can be everything that it is.
Absolutely.
It can be long, and that is good. It's not fine. It's not neutral. It's good. God made his hair grow out of his head that way. And he did not say in the Bible, make sure you keep it well, okay, there are verses about keeping your hair short as a man, but like that's not what this is about at all.
1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians.
Yes. That's
also where it says
very
women
much
have
cultural.
to wear head coverings.
Yeah, that was very much cultural.
Anyway.
And not about
that
your looks.
No.
That was not what that's about.
No. It was about order in the church. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, that's like a good example to show, one, what you just might not understand, how deep some of this goes, and two, like how not to talk to our kids about their cultures and race. Just understanding that sometimes you just don't understand. Yeah, I feel like that kind of...
Yeah. And what would you say are other things that are tangible outward things that someone might want to comment on or think about, like notice?
How tan they get in the summer. That's a big one. Wow, you got dark.
Yeah.
the way you say that matters. Like, I comment on that. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you saying, wow, you got really dark, because you say it to each other.
There's a pejorative way to say it, though. Yeah. That's not okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's the tone with which you say something. It's the unspoken things when you are speaking to our children about what they look like, their race, their culture.
Something that I think, as you were saying, the thing about the hair that sort of came to me was, I think a lot of the time when people make those comments, it's almost like they are reducing him, or kind of like by association people who look like him, to like just like a caricature of something. Like it's almost like you're just almost like a cartoon character, where it's like
mixed kid to you.
Yeah, you're not a real like regular person. It's almost like you're just like a character that doesn't have a true identity. It's just like I don't know, almost like you just look like a sim or something. I don't know, where it's like you're removing your respect for him as a real live person who's right in front of you, and it's almost just like he's a little animal or like a little thing that's just like an object to look at and be like, oh, look how funny that looks, instead of like seeing his personhood, you know?
If that's an experience for parents with black children or parents with white children or whatever race.
Or if that's like, a specifically mixed phenomenon. Yes,
because people fetishize mixed kids all the time. Like that's like is fetishize the word I want to use there?
Not for children.
No, I don't mean fetishize. But like that's the word that's used for just like wanting, specifically wanting to have mixed kids.
Yeah.
Seeking out someone that is black or white so that you have mixed kids. Like,
or like people would comment on that all the time. We were like engaged, like, oh, you're going to have the most beautiful babies. And
yeah. That's like a thing.
But it's like it's an object.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a way. It's like a clout thing, or like a.
What is the word then that's used? Is fetishize actually the word that's used for that?
I don't know. You're talking. I don't know. Anyway, just you know what I'm trying to say. It's like a dehumanization thing, almost like it's just this little object that you remove your respect for as a person made in God's image, and it's just like this little cute bobblehead thing running around that you're commenting on.
It's like a toy or a doll.
A toy, yeah. Anyway, that was just a thought.
Yeah.
Also, I think last thing I would say about, or I want to talk about this, just how should we be preparing him for the conversations and for even just like the comments that his little preschool classmates are going to make and that people at church might make.
I don't know if they'll notice.
But you know what I'm saying?
At what age do kids start noticing this?
I mean, he's noticing that he looks different than us, and like seeing all his little preschool classmates, they're all white. Maybe one Hispanic little girl in there, but he's like the only one that's dark in that whole room. And so even if they don't, if he were to be getting comments from kids, like how at this age are we going to talk him through that? Either preparing him, or how are we going to respond when he gets those?
And should we be preparing him?
That's what I think we should.
Yeah.
I think it's time
talking about it at home,
that having those conversations is really beneficial and worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not quite at the age where I think he's just going to come home and tell us every time something happens, you know?
But he could really start internalizing stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how we talk about it, honestly. I think going back to your thing about the Tower of Babel conversation and the paint colors and stuff, having the conversations in general could help him to develop a framework for understanding his race that then when someone brings something up, he could like fall back on, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think we should be like, hey, now that you're going to school and now that you're around older kids at church and stuff, there might be people who make a comment about this, about how you look different, or about, you know.
I don't think we should go about it that way. I think it should just be within our home, creating a framework, not preparing him for specific scenarios yet.
And just letting it rest on.
I don't want him to be on edge or like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wondering when someone will talk about it, and just, I don't want him to have to constantly be thinking about the context of someone might bring this up.
That's
instead
true.
Of just, which he's 3, I don't know how much he'd be constantly thinking about it, but like.
Well, he's a little worrier though.
He is.
When he gets something in his head, he really starts to spin on it and starts to, you know.
That's true.
I think honestly just building a foundation for him understanding his racial identity will be the most helpful thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And just, I guess, figuring out more than that. What does the Bible say about us
Yeah.
as people, and laying a framework for, like, base who is the person before you put paint on them.
Yeah.
Who
What makes
has
a person
God
a person?
made us to be? What does he say about who we are?
Yeah.
What is our heart and our soul and our mind? What are those things separately? And then once you put paint on them, how does that change or affect that?
Yeah.
And like, why are our families different? What does that,
Right.
does that mean we came from different places? We maybe get a map out. Our family is from here way back, and our family's from here, things like that. I don't know.
But I like that a lot, though. Coming at it with the foundation of, here's who God made you to be. Here's what God sees you as. Here's what he says makes you lovable. And here's what makes you, worthy of respect and things like that.
And I think his school will lay a good foundation for that, because it is a Christian school.
Yeah,
so I think
they will.
As they're learning about, kind of looking at the curriculum, I think that they will start to put some of those things into.
I think that we should be now going out of our way to have those conversations with him more than we are. Like, I think we just need to be like at dinner, just be like, hey buddy, we're going to talk to you about something. And just sort of like, because I want him to start asking questions.
Yeah.
He will start to internalize stuff no matter what. Mm-hmm. But if we can get him asking questions that we can answer, so that he has answers for what he's internalizing and not just wondering in his mind. Because you know him. Mm-hmm. He's so smart. He's perceptive. Like, he's going to start thinking about this. And I think we just need to get on top of it, I guess.
Yeah. I think we also have to be chill.
Oh, which I think
Can't
we do.
Be like a big, all right, let's sit down and have a conversation.
I think we do a good job of that already, though.
Yeah.
Being pretty chill about stuff like this. And not making it a whole, like...
Yeah, just kind of like... If he just really doesn't want to talk about something, just letting him go, because it's not that big of a deal right now.
Even like the way that we approach telling him about going to preschool, you know, like we did make it was a thing that we're going to have this talk, but we let him process it and didn't push it too hard. And he usually comes back and asks more about it once he's had a second anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, we have 2 kids. we're thinking about Ezzy so much because he's the one that's like sentient right now and like conscious of himself being a human. But
we could really quick talk about boy versus girl.
Yeah. Before we go, let's do that. You are a girl.
What?
I know.
That's crazy.
What specific things do you think are gonna? I mean, hair is gonna be a huge thing for her. Mm-hmm. The way you do her hair, or her relationship with her hair. Mm-hmm. What other things about being a girl versus? Like, for him, it's going to be a lot more about, there's a lot of confidence that comes with being a black boy. But what, kind of like on the flip side for her, do you think will be the biggest things that she'll see people around her doing, or that she'll struggle with, I guess?
I think eventually dating, kids, those types of things will probably be something she has to think about. I think, I would imagine being a mixed kid, they already kind of have a head start on what we had to deal with thinking about having a mixed kid. Because no matter who they have a kid with, it's mixed. And they're mixed. So,
that's true.
I mean,
they've already had to reckon with that a little bit.
Yeah. But I think, like we talked about at the very beginning, girls do think about more often than boys marriage and babies and the kind of person they're going to marry. And like, we would have conversations about that. What kind of person and race and whatever else we think we
So you think that that's maybe where, like, with her, we need to be very specific about not, like, pushing her in one direction or the other, not kind of, like, having any expectation for who she'll want to marry or date or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, I just don't know. As a girl, there's the weird, like, the relationship with your dad has a lot to do with the person that you marry.
Yeah.
So there's that part too. Like, will she just naturally want to date a white man because you're white? You know,
Yeah.
there are those things. But I think that'll probably be a bigger thing. Hair will probably be a big thing. Fashion
Yeah.
will probably be a big thing.
That's true. With girls with-
femininity, what that looks like can be very different for black women and white women.
Girls especially, I feel like some of the natural judgment that would come in a lot of white spaces would be about 5 times more amplified for a girl. Like what's presentable, what's acceptable, what kind of hair, what kind of clothes are you supposed to wear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Also, she has a black mom.
yeah.
So I'm the only, I am the main example she has for what a woman looks like, for what it looks
That
like
makes
to
me
be
happy.
feminine. That's sweet. What it looks like to be feminine, what it looks like to be a woman biblically, like all of those things. I'm the main example. And so if she ends up having more white friends as she gets older, me being the example for her, if she is attempting to match what I am doing, I'm the one that's given her the definition for these things. She'll probably struggle with the fact that it looks completely different for this group of people,
Yeah.
and probably struggle with a little bit of a, y'all all seem much quieter than me, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what you value. Or not every white person is quiet, but
No,
like,
generally though.
yeah, just, or like in certain Christian circles, the complementarian thing, and like, I don't know, I think those things will probably be a big thing. And then on the flip side for Ezra, masculinity.
Yeah.
What that looks like, what hyper masculinity looks like, is very different in each culture.
Oh yeah, I mean the over hyper masculine thing within the culture of your family is like so strong.
Mm-hmm.
People are just real happy that they're men. You know what I mean? And they're like, we gotta punch.
Yeah.
So I think I want to just lead by example, and I think that for both him and her, both with themselves and then their relationship with the opposite sex eventually, obviously you and I will be the biggest influence. And so I really hope that if we're obedient and if we like raise them in a biblical and godly way, that a lot of it will sort itself out. Like if we're just good examples for them of how the Bible says to live, like that it'll all work itself out. But I don't know. A lot of this is just going to be like, we just got to take it as it comes too.
You know, random thought. I think we gave them really good mixed names.
We really did. I feel
Like they're
it's-
not really black or really white
they're right
names.
Especially Ezra. Ezra's a perfect.
Yeah.
Eliza maybe has.
It is a little on the whiter side.
More on the white side.
Because like Elizabeth and like the Queen and all that stuff. But
Something about it's kind of British.
yeah.
But it's also kind of like, in a 2025 way, it's almost not though, because it's one of those names. It's, I don't know. I thought it should have been Sharquisha, but
Blink, blink, blink.
I thought we should have had Kayvon and Sharquisha.
Kayvon.
I think that's kind of.
Don't interrupt. Rude.
They usually tell me they're like Shalissa. Who is that?
Me, nigga.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it.
Yeah. I can't think of. Was there anything else on the list?
We didn't go through each question exactly, but we sort of hit each topic, I think.
Gotcha.
I think the main takeaway is just, it's probably time to start having some more intentional conversations with him
Yeah.
about
It's
it.
hard. We're not around people that are not white.
Very often at all.
In our church specifically, the people who are like the main ones that we go to for spiritual wisdom.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to talk to those people about this, and it can feel a little bit isolating
Yeah.
as we're just trying to figure out, how do we talk about this? How do we go about this?
It's also not something that is just talked about more broadly very much either. Like the specifics of like
I
what
haven't
it's like
sought
to
it
have
out, so I
mixed
don't know.
kids. I just feel like there's not a ton out there about it from what I've looked at. And obviously like we could have done more digging, but it's just not, there's a whole bunch of parenting books and there are a whole bunch of topical type of thing, resources out there, and I just have never stumbled upon something about raising mixed race kids, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Which I don't know.
I don't know. Hopefully this has been helpful maybe in that sense as a resource.
Isn't Trillia Newbell, isn't she? Is that her name?
Yes.
She's married to a white man, right?
Yeah, I think she might have. She has that one. She has a kids book that's like about diversity.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a
great,
cute
by
book.
the way. But I don't think she's written anything long form about it.
No, I was just thinking about the fact that she has mixed race kids, and that book is a really great book. Just
I
about,
think it's called God's Very Good Idea.
yeah, just about like how we are all different, and that is supposed to be a really great thing, and how we messed it up. And
Yeah.
is laying out the gospel essentially, but it's
Yeah.
also mixing in the fact that we are all
Diversity,
different, and some
yeah.
have light skin, some have dark skin, some have curly hair, some have straight hair. What's the other thing? Some like to ride bikes, some like to read books, or something like that. Just
like people
we're
are
all
different
very
on
different.
purpose.
Yeah. And like the illustration is really cute because there's just like so many different hairstyles and skin colors and glasses and wheelchairs and all the things. It's just a
That's
very
cute.
diverse book. I like that book. But
It's good.
yeah.
What's a final nugget we can give to the people?
I have a final question for you.
Okay.
When Lizzie gets old enough that she wants dolls, what colored dolls are we gonna give her? All?
I think we've.
Just around or just the ones that look like her?
I think
Just
we should get her
mixed
mixed.
right in the
I think we
middle?
should get her like
Like
this
light brown?
peanut butter. Yeah, peanut butter colored. That's a good question. I think probably all.
I think about that a lot.
Of course you do.
What kind, like, I am naturally inclined to pick the book that has a black girl on it.
Well, me too, because I think it's if there's one side of their identity, not that their identity is split in half, but for the purpose of this, if there's one side that it's more important to look at and say, this is a good part of you, it's definitely the fact that they are half black. Because it's
representation of that is necessary.
Representation of that is much more important because it's not the default. Like the representation in the people that they're around at church every week and the people who we spend time around media, it's like they have no problem seeing the Caucasian side of themselves all over the place. And so I think I think it's a really good thing to like, even like we do that in some of the shows that they watch. We just try to find things that have good like black representation in them, because
even just diversity, honestly.
Well,
like
I mean,
Alma's
yes.
Way is amazing.
Alma's Way is such a good
Yeah.
kid show, but I think that's a good thing. I probably, if we were getting her dolls, probably getting our little black girl dolls is good.
Yeah.
Not even only, but just like some, you know,
Yeah.
because being able to connect with that
I guess we
culture,
could just let her pick.
we could let her pick. Being able to connect with that culture, I think, would be more of a challenge and more of an important thing to like intentionally cultivate than the opposite.
Do you know that for me growing up, I did not like picking black characters for things? In video games, I picked lighter characters all the time.
You have some internalized self-hatred or something?
I guess. I don't know. But
Huh, interesting.
I did. Because I thought like the super dark ones just weren't as pretty.
Interesting.
Even like my shade and darker, I was just like, they're just not as pretty. I don't
Aw.
like those characters as much. Like even Wildcrats, I didn't like, was her name Cokie?
Cokie.
I didn't like her as much as I liked Aviva.
I mean, Aviva's a baddie, first of all, so that's not
Aviva's
even a
a
fair comparison, bro. Why
But
they
then I
have to?
felt
Why
so
they have to
much-
draw her like that, bro? She got hips.
But then I felt a lot of guilt for that at the same time. But I was like, so I would pick them because I felt guilty about the fact that I wasn't picking them. That shows you how internalized the race thing is.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I felt guilt for
And the
not wanting to
characters-
pick the darker character, so I would pick the darker
Wild.
character.
Wild.
Yeah. I'm sure you never thought about that.
No,
That one looks like me.
we made me's for everything.
Burger. You made a burger meme, right? A me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I don't
too.
know how we figured that out. We made meatball too. It was just a black dude with no features. It's called meatball. He had an afro. No eyes, no nose. Anyway, the Wii, man. It's officially dead. Isn't that sad?
It is. I really, really, really hope they come out with another one.
Wii 2.
Yes,
Because the Wii U was a flop.
it was.
But it's like...
It was the brainchild that became the Switch.
It was. And the Switch is awesome, but it's no
No
Wii.
Wii.
Nintendo.
I want the Switch 2 really bad because I want the bigger controllers. I wonder if anybody's going to just make like bigger controller things that you can put your controller into.
So you could pretend like it's
Yeah. They make it feel bigger.
I just feel like we need Wii Sports back, you know?
There's a Switch Sports.
Lame.
Boo.
Can I bowl with that little Joy-Con? No. No, I can't. Can I get on the dang little Wii Fit board thing and do surfing?
We didn't do the Wii Fit. We didn't have much money. So the fact that we even had a Wii is insane.
Food stamps.
We had Wii Play, Wii Sports, and Super Mario.
Honestly,
and then we would rent
ones.
games from GameStop sometimes.
Those are the good ones anyway. Those are the best ones to have.
Yeah.
Only the rich kids had Wii Sports Resort.
Oh, for sure.
I played it at some people's houses. They were all rich.
Richer had a sunroom.
That's the same thing.
Not always.
Well, I guess them old houses be having sunrooms.
Richer had a sunroom. Think about it.
Why is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that right?
It is.
It's like a certain. I think if you have a sunroom, you have a certain mentality about your life, even if you're not rich. Yeah. You're like, I got a damn sunroom. I'm gonna get Wii Sports Resort.
I'm back here in the sun.
Maybe it's the more access to sun you have, the more money you think you have.
I don't know.
We're gonna end this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. It's like we're like an hour and 17 minutes into this, so
nice.
If you're still here, you're a real OG. Mm-hmm. Smash that subscribe button. Smash the like. Hit the bell for.
Go listen to Matthew's new song. Hey. I haven't brought it up in a couple episodes, but
Faithful and True by Noble.
Yeah, go listen to that. It's linked in all the places, so do that.
Go do that.
What's our comment thing? Favorite Wii game?
That's a good one. Favorite Wii game of all time.
Yeah.
And
it could even be one of the sports in Wii Sports or Wii Resort.
Yeah.
Resort.
Just your
I can't
favorite.
speak. Wii Resort.
Wii Resort.
Say it.
Wii Sports Resort.
Oh, yeah. Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah.
It's like Wii Resort doesn't feel right. Wii Sports
also, Resort. There are people who are too young to have ever played a Wii that are old enough to listen to our podcast. Isn't that weird? Like DJ, he didn't grow up playing the Wii. He's 13.
Remember if he did?
Like,
honestly,
there are people who were born in. If you were born in 2005, you were probably already too young to play the Wii. Because that sucker came out in like 2004 or 5, and by the time that you were in your adolescent years, it was already moving on to other consoles. It's just a sad thing.
2006, November of 2006.
Anywho, thank you guys.
Oh, it came out November 19th of 2006. It's coming out next year. November of next year, the Wii 2 is dropping. The 20th year anniversary.
Next year, it's going to be 20 years since 2006.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, that feels so wrong that I'm counting it again. And I'm like, do we sound ignorant on the podcast? No.
20 years.
It's been 20 years.
Well, it's 2025 minus 2005. We're going to go. Love you guys. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.